Got a honey who come with elite fashion. She too fine, I tell her that thing magic. You ain't a hustle, you broke, well that seems tragic. Gotta catch in the field like deep passes. I tell her plug if it's sticky, then please bag it. I need the best cause I grew up beneath madness. Need a Matt Burgundy Mercy. Jewelry so heavy it might hurt me.
Yo, what is up? It's your boy Sturls here on the mic. And you are listening and watching the Chopper. Look, man, it's draft night eve. And I got you covered, man. My boy Spence is doing this thing. I'm waiting on Twan to get up in here. Twan's supposed to be in here tonight, but if he's not, shoot. Hey, we're gonna talk drafting here, man. That's what we're gonna do. One more day, Richard Rush. Yes, sir. We about to do the dang thing in here, man. But good afternoon. How is your night going? Welcome to the Chop Up here on the Buffalo Rumblings vidcast feed. Make sure you're tuned in to the Chop Up and everything we got going on here at Buffalo Rumblings, man. It's been a party, as Bruce Nolan would say. It's always a party. So much happening right now in the NFL. So much going on, man. Like I'm sitting here trying to figure out how I feel draft night eve. Like what's my prevailing and overarching thoughts on certain things. You know, if you ask me who I think the Bills are going to select, I have no freaking clue. I still don't have a clue as to who the Bills are going to make the 27th pick overall. There's a lot going on, man. The CJ Stroud stuff we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about this DeAndre Hopkins situation. Are we getting DHop or not? Right? And the cool thing about all of that is that we get all the answers tomorrow. Like things are going to start to unfold. There's talks of Will Levis going number 1 overall. I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest. Who's the best positional talent at non-quarterback, right? Who's going to be the first non-quarterback selected in this draft? I have no idea. I mean, you would think it's Will Anderson. But needless to say, there is so much going on, man. Aaron Rodgers had his press conference today. We're gonna talk about that. I'm hoping that Antoine gets in here. So he was there, so we can get his oh, he's asking me for a link. Okay, I will send you the link. So we're gonna get into all that. So should I do a mock draft tonight? Is the question. I don't know. I mean, I feel like you know, I've gotten some DMs today asking me if I would do a mock draft tonight. We might do a final mock draft to kind of kick things off for the draft night. But I'll tell you one thing right now. I'm not sleeping tonight. I'm telling you right now, I will not be sleeping tonight. It's just not gonna happen for me. I'm too excited. I'm too excited. I'm pumped up, and yeah, it's wild right now. It's like Christmas for me. It's Christmas for you because we get to sort some stuff out. But so yeah, we'll throw a little mock in there. In my opinion, we do need Hop. Yeah, we do need DHop. So here's a question. So if you're watching the show tonight, here's a question I'm going to ask. There was a trade idea being floated around. The trade idea was, would you rather have, would you take Ed Oliver and Gabriel Davis and ship it to Arizona for DHop and Isaiah Simmons? And I don't know if I would make that trade because I need like a 3rd round pick. If Ed Oliver, Gabriel Davis, and the 3rd round pick, I'll make the trade. But if you're not going to give me anything, I mean, you're banking on what, a few more years from DHop, right? Isaiah Simmons is an unproven linebacker who doesn't have a necessary position that he's kind of honed in on. Now, I don't know if that's to the dismay of the team that he's playing for in Arizona, and they just really haven't figured out a way to deploy him properly. I don't know, but I'm not making that trade. Not that trade. Now, if you say 27 to 34, and then DHop is involved in that, hell, you can even throw in that Olive in that, and then give us like a fourth round pick or something like that. I would do that. I would do that. But needless to say, it's pretty interesting, man. It's pretty interesting. So let's talk about CJ Stroud for a minute. The cognitive S2 test. I know if you guys also listen to my show on Monday nights, intentional grounding, you know, we talked about CJ Stroud. And the reason why I bring this up is because he came out and he said that I'm not a test taker. I love that. I kind of love that. Even though he's an Ohio State guy, I love the fact that he came out and he said, you know what, I'm not a test taker. I'm a football player. Hell yeah. Like, that's what I want my quarterback to say. Like, and he's right. Like, I can care less about a cognitive S2 test, but can you go out there and can you ball out when the chips are down? Can you make the right read, the right throw? I think he can. I don't know what his ceiling is. I think he could be a pretty good NFL player. I mean, I feel like he's the best pure thrower in this draft, by my opinion. I feel like he could do that. But the fact that he came out and he was vocal about it, hell yeah. Like, that's what you want. That's what you want. You know what I'm saying? Like, go get that guy. If you're a quarterback needy team, go get him. Like, Houston, what are you doing at number 2? Like, what's the problem here? Like, it shouldn't even be an issue. And look who it is.
What's going on?
Who it is, dog. We got old Twan in here, dog. What's going on, man? How you living?
I'm good. How you doing?
Hey, man, I'm good. So I was just talking about CJ Stroud and the cognitive S2 test, and I want your thoughts on that, because he came out and he said, you know, I'm not a test taker. I'm a football player, and I love that.
Hold on, I heard part of it. Who are you talking about again?
CJ Stroud.
Oh, so, yeah, I did hear that earlier today.
Yeah. And so, what are your thoughts on the whole CJ Stroud thing and the cognitive S2 test?
I just feel like this is draft thing. This is just a typical draft thing where we just kind of depict people and try to nitpick and all this stuff and trying to find, you know, something wrong so you can drive down the value of a certain player. I mean, it happens all the time. It happens every single year. So I just think we're just to the point now. We just need the draft to happen, because just I just think we're bored, and you know, it's been a long process. Free agency has been started 6 weeks ago or whatever, and yeah, I mean, I just think it is an exhausted process that we're just sitting here nitpicking every single prospect that comes out, as opposed to, I think CJ Stroud could be arguably the best quarterback in the draft, but I just think we're just trying to find something wrong, especially when it seems like the Panthers are gonna, you know, take Bryce Young instead. So they're like, well, what's wrong with CJ Stroud? Why is he not, you know, the number 1 pick? And, you know, I don't think it's anything against him. I just think it's Bryce Young, is, you know, the body of work that he did at Alabama, and just, you know, everything he puts out on tape. I think he's, you know, worthy of the number 1 pick.
Yeah. Hey, man, he very well might be. You know, I think there's some naysayers out there about Bryce Young. I think the kid can play. I just think it's kind of interesting that there's a lot of this talk about Will Levis being the number 1 overall pick. I mean, you saw the odds in Vegas. He was like a 40-1. Now he's 4-1 and stuff like that. What you think Will Levis will go number 1 tomorrow night?
No, I don't think so. Just the people that I know, Carolina wise, like, they're expecting to take Bryce Young.
Okay.
I still have connections down there with the Panthers, and everything I've heard, then Bryce Young's going to be the pick. Now, number 2 is the wild card and all this with Texans. I don't think anybody knows what they're going to do. You know, they're going to take a quarterback, and if they do take a quarterback, who is it going to be?
Right.
That point could be Will Levis potentially, but I think whatever it is, Will Levis will probably be taken higher than I think some people might have thought. I know I was watching ESPN and their mock draft with all the reporters, and you know, Will Levis lasted until the Bucks pick, I believe, at like 19. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I definitely think he probably will be a top 10 pick somewhere. It's just a matter of where that is.
Yeah, it does seem kind of strange that you know, he was very lukewarm in the draft process in terms of what scouts and what people actually thought about him. And then all of a sudden, the last few weeks, it's like he's picked up a lot of steam, and that he's getting this talk about being a #1 overall pick. And I don't know if you saw the clip on ESPN about Dan Orlovsky comparing him to Josh Allen.
I did, yeah. That's usually his comparison. Yeah, I think I don't know if I would compare him to Josh Allen, other than like the process, like other than they're very polarizing as far as prospects. Like I think either you love Will Levis or you don't like him. I actually do like him. I just think he played on a really bad Kentucky team last year.
Facts.
It's a lot, and no wide receivers, and I think I don't know how good he's going to be, but I think he's better. Like if you look at the previous year in 2021, I think you'll get a better projection of Will Levis and what the potentially he could be.
For sure. No, I agree with that. If I were the Texans, I'm not playing around with this quarterback thing. Like there's a thought that it was reported that they could potentially go defense with the second overall pick and hope that they can get another quarterback at the 12th pick. And I'm thinking, like, I get it, and that's bold. Like if you don't have that quarterback squared away, man, just if you got the second overall pick, just pick your quarterback, and you ain't got to worry about it. And then kind of get the next best player that you can get at 12.
Unless that player is Lamar, you're playing on trade for Lamar Jackson, then yeah, no, right. I would definitely not. I mean, yeah, next year's quarterback class might be better than this one's, but you want to pick, you're at the number 2 spot. Like there's a good enough quarterbacks, I think, that are worthy of the pick where you can go and get a guy. And then, but if you're not, I guess, in a way, if you're not in love with any of these guys, maybe you can wait till, later on and maybe go out to get a Hendon Hooker if you are in love with him,
right.
And just possibly pair him up with just, you got Davis Mills still there too. Just wait till Hendon Hooker gets healthy, and, that might be an option for them later on in the draft.
For sure. So speaking of quarterbacks, you guys, the team that you cover seem to get another polarizing quarterback in league, in Aaron Rodgers. And I saw that you were there at the press conference and so forth. So my question to you is, what did you think of the press conference, and what's the overall temperature of the fan base right now?
I mean, the fans are going nuts. I mean, fan is short for fanatic, and there's definitely a lot of fanatics out there, especially when it comes to Aaron Rodgers with the Jets. And you got a lot of people thinking that the Jets are ticketed for the Super Bowl. They're a Super Bowl contender. I'm not necessarily in that camp right now, but I do think they are a playoff team. With Aaron, anytime you go get an Aaron Rodgers, and you have the defense paired up to what they were last year, if they can put up similar type numbers, I think this is a playoff team. This is a team that can finish second, or at least third in the division. Although I know Jets fans probably would turn their nose up at that, but you still finish third in the division and get to the play. That's all you got to do, get in the playoffs. You get in the tournament, you see what happens. They played Buffalo very tough last year, beat them once. In Jersey, you split. Also split with the Dolphins too as well, who have also improved. Yeah, I think they got a shot. I really do. I think they're going to keep it competitive. But yeah, definitely. As far as the press conference, he said all the right things. It seemed like he was very happy in a good place. That it seemed like he really wants this to happen. It seemed like he really welcoming this change of scenery there with the Jets.
Yeah. So there was a tweet that you had that I'm going to bring up here, sir. That I'm like, yo, what is this? Okay. It's this one here. What does this mean? I'm not here to be a savior of any kind. What's the context there?
Well, I mean, that's actually a question I had asked him. I asked him, listen, what was the motivation of him still wanting to play at his age? I mean, he's flirted with retirement and things that he has nothing to prove. He's already a first ballot Hall of Famer, one of the best quarterbacks of all time. So he basically just said that he's playing for the love of the game, and still wants to compete at a high level. And he also loves the coaching staff there. Believes the team can be competitive. And I think the context was the Jets have been bad for a really long time, and they've been made the playoffs since 2010. And then anytime you go to Aaron Rodgers, people are expecting him to save them, like to be the guy that's gonna turn things around. So for him, it's like no, it's not. I'm not a savior. It's not just on me. It's on the rest of the team to try to turn things around. You could think of me as a savior, but that's not the role that I'm willing to. I want to play here. Like I
Right.
think it's going to take a team effort in order to do that.
And then, and what was his comments about? It's been, the video went viral of Zach Wilson saying he's going to make, the veteran quarterback give him hell. And this is what Aaron Rodgers said. I mean, this is what Ari Marioff posted. He said, Aaron Rodgers reported Zach Wilson's famous quote that he make a veteran quarterback hell in practice. He's going to make my life hell in practice, and I'm going to make his life heaven off the field. And then there was a bunch of jokes in there in terms of on the Twitter feed. What did you take away from that comment there?
Well, he laughed. It was a joke. It was kind of a joke, but
Okay.
there's actually some truth to that because, Zach Wilson has been under fire his first 2 years in the league. And not having you had Joe Flacco there and, you had Mike White. You had some kind of veteran. But to have somebody that's, can put just a legitimate starting quarterback there. Zach Wilson was headed the job once he got to New York.
Right.
So I definitely think that was a detriment to him and also the Jets in general. But to have somebody like Aaron Rodgers that can, he can bounce things off of, he can ask questions, he can, do what he should have done as a rookie, like especially coming out of BYU. This is not like you're coming out of Georgia, Alabama, or somewhere like that where you're playing against the best of the best in the nation. I mean, no disrespect to BYU, but you're playing in the Mountain West in a wide open type of offense.
Right.
And during the COVID year, mind you, which was very shortened, and then it was just, all over the place. So that's when he put up his best numbers.
Right.
So I definitely think you definitely should have got a, veteran in there that should have started at least initially. Or they should have played Mike White, probably the whole time. That's for first year. But now, you can do about it now. All you can do is hope that, you have Aaron Rodgers there. If he plays a year, that's great. I think the team would like him to play longer than that. But if need be, then, you have that year where Zach Wilson can, kind of learn and then see what you have in him, for 2024 possibly. And, if he's not the guy, then, you get rid of him. And, ultimately, if the Jets don't make the playoffs anyway, none of this is going to matter because everybody's going to be out of a job.
Right.
Heads
will roll. Yeah. Okay. So here's my next question. Because I haven't seen you in a couple weeks. I got a lot of questions.
Last week.
Man, it just feels forever, bro. It feels like forever. Okay. It's like once the Aaron Rodgers stuff happened, it's like I needed to talk to you right then. Okay. Like, and so this is our forum to do that. There's rumors about the Jets getting Jackson Smith and Jigba with the 15th overall pick, bro.
I don't think he's gonna last that long.
Dude, I can't handle Wilson and Njigba on the same offense. I can't.
If he's there, then yeah, I think it's a possibility, but I don't think he's gonna be there. Like I think Green Bay would take him.
You think so?
Yeah, Green Bay, they're going to take a wide receiver or tight. They're going to surround Jordan Love with some type of weapon.
I think they got to go tight end. You drafted 2 solid receivers last year. It makes sense to go tight end.
Get another one.
Yeah.
Get another one.
Yeah.
Get another one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think tight end makes more sense. But if he's on the board, then I think if Houston doesn't take him at 12, I think, it's a good chance the Packers might do it at 13. And if not, you got New England right there at 14 too. They could take him.
We don't trust New England to make the right draft selection with their,
we don't. They're going to get
their trash, right? I mean, we just hope that continues to happen where they don't get it right. But it's interesting, man. I can't handle those two in the same offense, man. I saw it too often in Ohio State because I'm a Michigan fan, and I definitely, from a Bills perspective, don't want to see that translate to the NFL, but. The Jets are putting themselves together a pretty solid squad. I really do like the weapons that you guys already have. There were some questions about one of your receivers might not be on the roster this season. Corey Davis, yeah. What have you heard about Corey Davis?
Well, I mean, I think the thought process was before free agency, he'd be cut because they could save $10.5 million by cutting him. And then he's been injured, missed a lot of games last year. His first year with the Jets, missed a lot of games in 2021. So I thought they were just going to release him and, go younger at the wide receiver position. But obviously when you go get an Aaron Rodgers, he may want some kind of veterans. like there at the receiver position. However, Joe Douglas, general manager, was asked on Tuesday, you know, are you planning on keeping Corey Davis there, this year? And he danced around that question. He tap danced around that question like he was Gregory Hines. Like it was beautiful. But all joking aside, like my thinking is it's probably depending on what happens in the draft, they will keep him. But if that happens, if they get Smith and Jitma, then he's gone. Like he's
Yeah,
he's out of
right.
there. So that's my thinking is. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting, man. I mean, it just makes sense that like now that you got Rodgers, man, you just wish that like if I was Corey Davis, I would just say, yo, release me so I can go get my next home.
You
And then
want to, yeah. Like
right,
it's just you have no idea, especially with the camp starting up and everything like that. You would like to be in somebody's, you know, playbook and everything like that moving forward. You don't want to have this uncertain clarity, like this, especially heading into May. Where,
right.
like you're in the off-season program, and are you going to be here? Are you not? But we know this with every team. Like once the draft happens, it's going to be another wave of people getting released because they
Yeah.
addressed other needs, or they've gone younger, and we'll start to see it this weekend. As a matter of fact, some veterans probably getting released, or Monday.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. So I got a little something for you, Twan.
Yeah.
Listen to this, man. As a Bills fan right now, it's like for me it's rough because I see the Jets make this move. I have a suspicion that DHop's going to go to the Chiefs, and the Bills are just sitting here like everything's fine. Meanwhile, okay, we're all talking about this.
Yeah, I saw that.
Josh
I
Allen
saw
getting a
that.
damn haircut.
I saw
and,
that.
and I'm like, bro, I can care less if my dude's if he's getting fresh. I need I need y'all to make a move. Like, make a move.
Yeah,
That's where I'm at right now, bro. Make a damn move. And
yeah,
we're over here just chilling, it feels like.
like here is somebody. I was doing radio earlier. They were asking me how I feel about the Bills, and I'm like, they're the team to beat to some because they've done it the last 3 years.
Right.
However, like, do you feel good about what the Bills look like this all season compared to the Dolphins have gotten better? The Jets have obviously gotten better. Heck, New England's gotten better. Although, I don't think anybody's picking them to win the division, but still the Patriots have gotten better too. So I still think the Bills are the team to beat, but I don't. Last year, I thought it was like slam dunk Bills win the division,
Right.
no
Right.
doubt about it. Now,
Right.
I think it's a little bit of uncertainty, especially considering, like I say, the moves the Dolphins have made. Vic Fangio, obviously, Jalen Ramsey. We'll see what else they do with the draft and their limited draft picks, just like the Jets have. And then obviously getting Aaron Rodgers kind of completely changes a lot of different things for the Jets. So yeah, it's gonna be tight. It's gonna be tight in that division, but yeah, I don't think it's a slam dunk. Bills win a division like I did a year ago.
Right. And it has me worried, to be completely honest with you, because me personally, I've lost faith in the regime to actually acquire the talent needed. I mean, I feel like this is the most crucial draft that they could have had since Josh Allen, right? Last few drafts, in my opinion, haven't gone great. And they got some glaring holes. I don't know if you heard the rumor or the report about, execs saying that the Bills have more holes than they think they have.
Yeah,
And it's true. It's true. It's true.
It kind of reminds me of how the Patriots, like when Tom Brady was there, they were still doing well, but draft wise, they could have been so much better had they hit on like even half their picks, but they wasn't doing that. They didn't accumulate the young talent that they could in the draft, and then eventually, you're gonna pay for that because that's how get
Right.
better in this league. And you can't just always rely on Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. And as good as the defense is too, you have to be able to replenish that. You lost Tremaine Edmonds as well, free agency. You have older safeties that need to be, you need to address that. I know DeMar Hamlin, thank God, he's going to make a full recovery, be able to play football again, but that's still a growing need too as well. And then offensive line is still an issue there for Buffalo too as well. So I think they have some significant needs there that they desperately need to hit on this particular draft. They need to have a really good draft.
They do. They really do. And I've been saying it since the season concluded. These teams are getting better, and it's an arms race. I mean, there are 8 solid quarterbacks in the AFC, right? And the Jets, how they played the Bills last year, they scare me. You get right. You get Brees Hall back at some point in the season. It would make sense for the Jets to draft offensive line early,
yes,
rather than taking a skill position player, because that's only going to make Aaron Rodgers and that whole offense better. But that defense is nasty, and they're young and they're talented. They got a good scheme. They got the edge rushers. I mean, like, what's not to like about the Jets defense? And then what they've added on offense, as a Buffalo Bills fan, I'm a little nervous. Like, I think the Bills are the best team in the division, but at the same time, like, I could understand if the Bills finish second in the division, honestly. I mean, you kind of need things to go right. And the fact that they have these holes as of right now, I still think they need help at wide receiver too, right? Gabe Davis is okay, but I don't think he benefits more from Josh Allen than Josh Allen benefiting from him, right?
Yeah.
Let's be honest. And the offensive line, like you mentioned, like, I don't feel like I don't feel right now that the Bills got better this offseason. No. I feel like they've plugged depth. They got quality depth, but they're lacking some punch in terms of skill position players and at spots on defense that they currently don't have. So, as Bills fans, we kind of drink the Kool-Aid sometimes, as you know, Twan. You're on the chop up with us, and you see how it goes. But I try to keep it a buck here. And the Bills, they need to make a move. And I hope that the regime kind of sees and understands that.
Well, this is where Spence would come in and probably say he's not worried about the other chase of the division. So
look who it is.
It is. It is. See? It is. I mean, I think, like I said, I think they need to hit on and then the schedule's much tougher this year too.
Right.
Because you're playing the NFC East. And you're also playing the AFC West as well. So obviously you're going to play the Chiefs anyway, but you also got to deal with the Chargers. We'll see what the Broncos are about too. I mean, but yeah, I mean, they have to, Jacksonville's on the come up, like whatever you want to think about, Jacksonville, but I love Trevor Lawrence. I think he's got a budding star. I think we kind of saw that a little bit last year. I'm not worried about the Pats. Everybody else. Pats got better too. I mean, I wouldn't be worried about them, but I think here's the thing about New England. New England is they're not gonna be terrible. They might be mediocre, but they're gonna be there. They're gonna upset some teams. They're gonna beat probably the Dolphins and Jets. A time they've beaten the Jets like 14 straight times. So they're gonna win some games. They're probably gonna win 8 games in this league. So I don't think it's gonna be enough to make the playoffs, but they're probably gonna finish about 8-9 like they usually.
Right. So, okay, have you decided on who the first overall pick for the Jets are going to be? Do you have, like, because I know for me, I was saying earlier in the show, like, I kind of waffle from hour to hour. Like, it could be this guy, it could be that guy. Like, now that you guys have made some significant moves, like, who do you feel like they're going to take with their first selection?
I'm pretty confident they're going to go with offensive line, unless Smith and Jigba is on the board. But I probably think I'm going to go with Broderick Jones from Georgia. I think that makes a lot of sense too. I mean, they would like Paris Johnson Jr., but I don't know if he's going to be on the board. Like, not at 15 anyway. Right. At 13, it was a chance he could be on the board. But you're mad, like, is he going to get past New England? I don't know. Like, that's the whole thing. So for me, like, if I think they're gonna take a tackle. They have to get better there. I know Dwayne Brown is there. It's been solid, but he's getting older and coming off shoulder surgery last year. That he's essentially playing on one shoulder the entire year. I don't know how he played 12 games with that injury, but somehow he played the most of the season with it. But anyway, he'll be 38 in August. But we know about Mekhi Becton, only played 1 game in the last 2 years. Max Mitchell, also who they drafted last year in the 4th round, had blood clots. He missed the rest of the season, like the last month of the season. He's expected to make a full recovery. But again, he was a 4th round pick too. So you got to have some stability there at the tackle position, especially on the offensive line, where the Jets had 11 different players play on the offensive line last year. That's the most in the NFL out of any team by far.
Yeah, that you can't have that. And especially, as much as we say Aaron Rodgers he's 40, basically. Yeah. And, you're not going to be able to be taking hints if that line is trash. So, it makes sense that they would go invest in an offensive tackle, because they need it, right? And it's going to, it helps everything on the offense. Brees Hall and Aaron Rodgers. The Jets are going to be scary. They just are.
what will help is getting Elijah Vera Tucker back,
Right.
who he was like a Swiss Army knife for him last year. He played 3 different positions, which is unheard of in this day in NFL. I've seen it in college, like a lot, especially with injuries. But the NFL, like you're playing left tackle, right tackle, and right guard in the same season. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, it
That is
is.
crazy. So yeah, I mean, getting him back will help that offensive line immensely.
So as far as the Bills are concerned, like if I had to put money on who I think what the Bills are gonna do with the 27th overall pick, if they stay at 27 and pick, I think you got to go Drew Sanders or Jack Campbell, and it's you got to. I mean, I think Drew Sanders you could do a little more, but I think the learning curve is a little bit more steep because he hasn't played Mike linebacker, right?
Yeah.
You have a more polished prospect. In Jack Campbell, but you don't have the upside or the ceiling that a Drew Sanders does, right?
Yeah, I actually like both of those because before the Jets gave away their second round pick, I thought that was an option for them there, and then one of them still might be an option, the second round pick, because they definitely need a linebacker. But for all everything I've heard, they also thinking about bringing back Quan Alexander on a cheap deal. So, but that doesn't preclude them from taking a linebacker. So I definitely could see them doing both, like taking a young linebacker while also pairing it with a veteran. But yeah, Drew Sanders, absolute monster. I definitely think he's gonna be, starting Jack Campbell, like tackling machine.
Right.
Like
seeing him, his fits in the run game. He's downhill linebacker. I mean, he's gonna eat up a lot.
He's gonna fit in really well for somebody.
Yeah.
It's a matter of I don't know if he'll be taken in the first round, but if he's not, then I imagine he'll go very early on day 2.
Yeah, I don't think that either one of these linebackers will be taken in the first round if the Bills don't take them. Right.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I am. I mean, both of them are second round talents in terms of the big board, but I like both prospects. I mean, I couldn't be mad about either one. I just feel like last year we saw the Bills really didn't. They tried to fill as many needs as they could, but cornerback was a glaring hole coming into the draft. This year, it's linebacker. So I don't know what the temperature in the room like. And if I'm really honest, last season or during this time, like even though we knew cornerback 2 was important, I felt like I thought maybe they get it in the second round or something like that, and they went and got it in the first round. I'm like, okay, cool. So it's like it kind of you stack the clues together, and it definitely feels like the Bills are going to go linebacker round 1 tomorrow night, and then there's this DHop thing we're going to talk about.
Yeah, I think they have to. They have to get a wide receiver at some point because, I mean, I think it's like you got to take some pressure off of Stephon Diggs and the rest of that offense. I mean, Diggs is still young, still productive, one of the best receivers in football. But to get a guy like DHop, and look, granted, like his stats the last couple of years have not been great. But for Ryder, he's missed some games, suspension, whatever the case was. However, he still could be a threat, even if it's the second option on the team, like Buffalo, who has a alpha wide receiver and Stephon Diggs. So to be able to go out and get that, I just think it's about money. That's
Right.
what it is. If they can make the money work or try to restructure the deal, then I think teams will be more ready to make a trade like that. Right now, I just think it's people don't want to take that contract on, considering the fact that Hopkins' numbers hasn't been great the last couple of years, and he is 30 years old at this point. So it's kind of how people feel about 30-year-olds, especially at the wide receiver and also running back position.
Yeah, they kind of need to do something, man. I would feel good if they took DHop and they drafted a wide receiver. Like I want both. Like there was a trade being floated around. I mentioned earlier in the show that it was. Tell me if you would make this trade if you were the Bills. It was DHop and Isaiah Simmons for Ed Oliver and Gabe Davis straight up. Would you make that trade? Make that trade?
If I'm Buffalo, yeah. I don't know if I'm the Cardinals, I would do that. But if I was Buffalo, yeah. If I was the Cardinals, I'd be like, you got to add in a couple picks or something.
I feel that way. Like on the other side, I feel like the Cardinals will need to give us like a fourth round pick or something like that.
That trade is so wonderful. Come on, man.
Ed Oliver is a good defensive tackle. He just hasn't lived up to his potential. And Gabriel Davis, as much as he is a very polarizing figure, as you know, I don't like his game that much, but It's not like he's a scrub.
I didn't say that, but they're not on the level that those guys are. Like Simmons played really well last year, and then obviously we know what DHop can do. Like on the Cardinals are rebuilding. Like to this state, like I want some picks too. Like you got to give me, third round pick, and then another pick next year at least.
Oh hell no! You can't do that. You're fleecing us, dog.
That it's cost to be the boss, man. Like you want like man, I need some picks. Like especially my team is rebuilding. Like I don't want players. I really want picks. Unless depending on what the contract looks like. I don't know what Gabe Davis' contract situation is, and
well, he'll be a free agent after this season.
Okay, they might want that then. Like they would take that then, and then what's Oliver's as well?
He's the same.
They would take that. Well, they would take that then, but they still want some picks though, or at least they pick at least the third. At least you give me a third rounder, and then I'd be like, okay, we can call it then.
I mean, honestly, that would fill two needs for the Bills. You get your Mike linebacker, right, and you get your number 2 wide receiver. And then the Bills, in my opinion, if you do that trade, you still need to go draft a wide receiver.
Yeah,
you got to. You got to.
Well, yeah, absolutely, yeah. But yeah, the Cardinals, yeah, they're looking to get picks at this point because I don't even know who's going to be the quarterback in that team right now.
Yeah,
at least week
right. One. Yeah, they got some issues over there. I mean, you hope that Kyler gets better and that he can play, but I mean, it's a 9 to 12 month surgery or recovery, and I just don't.
He suffered in December last year, so
yeah, like
that's kind of like I don't even know if I would put him back as bad as I expect the Cardinals to be this year. I don't even know if I would put him back on the field like that early, like
right,
like call it a wash. You know, if anything, if I was the Cardinals, I might check with Tennessee to see how Ryan Tannehill's availability might be.
Ooh, no, hell no. You know what I do?
Somebody play quarterback.
Colt McCoy could do that. You know what I actually do? I just tank this season and go get Caleb Williams.
Well, you could do that. I mean, they do have a first-year head coach, so you could do that.
That's what I would do. And then you can kind of figure Kyler out,
but
right?
The problem is you still have to pay Kyler Murray, though.
He ain't my quarterback, bro.
It's the money, though. Like, you got to pay.
Yeah,
they $100 million guaranteed, though.
They're gonna have to sort that out, but
yeah,
I think Caleb Williams is, and I'm just talking about straight from college. I feel like Caleb Williams is a better prospect than Kyler Murray coming out.
Oh yeah, yeah,
and it's not even close.
Oh
right?
Yeah. I was not big on Kyler Murray to begin with, but yeah, I mean absolutely. And then you got May from North Carolina coming out too.
May, he's gonna be good.
Next year is gonna be as good as this class is. Like you got some guys coming in next year that's gonna be just as good, if not better, than this class coming up.
Right. And we're going to be talking about that. Is there I'm not going to keep you long because, it's draft night, bro. It's pre-draft night, and I ain't going to sleep. And I got to do like 19,000 more mock drafts so I could feel at ease. I got out of jury duty, so I don't have to report tomorrow.
Oh, you lucky there. You got
right. So, you want to know something? So, now I want you to try this. Okay?
Yeah.
Go get some Disaronno. Okay. And some Corona. Oh, okay. Just follow me on this.
Oh God, I have to wake up for an exercise class tomorrow, so don't have me.
You could do this tomorrow during the day, or when you're freaking, watching the draft tomorrow night. And
I'll be at the Jets facility, so I don't know if that's going to be allowed there.
Okay, well, when you're done, okay, or this weekend, Twan, I need you to do this for me. You go get some Disaronno and you go get some Corona, and you take a little sip out of the Corona and you put the Disaronno in there, and tell me if it doesn't taste like Dr. Pepper.
Okay, I'll have to try that there.
Bruh, I saw it on TikTok.
I have to try that there. Like I've done tequila and Corona or some kind of
I've done that.
Some kind of other alcohol, but I've never done that.
Bruh, it's so smooth and it tastes just like Dr. Pepper. And it goes down easy, bruh. Like easy.
Yeah, I'm about to have to try that.
Yeah.
That'll be like a weekend thing. That'll be after the draft. I'll try that after the draft. When the draft is over on Saturday, yeah, that might be the move.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do that, man. Okay, so before I let you go, what do you think the round one surprise will be tomorrow?
I mean, like team or just like player?
Any player falling, a team making a surprise trade. Like last year, we saw the Philadelphia Eagles trade for a wide receiver, right? What's the move gonna? And we were all shocked. We saw the Arizona Cardinals trade trade for a wide receiver,
Yeah.
right? So what I always think like, what's it gonna be this year?
I think the Titans are going to trade into the top 10. I mean, whatever we talked about Ryan Tannehill and whether they keep him next year or not. I mean, at some point you're gonna have to move on and get younger at the position. He'll be 35 this upcoming year. I think it's time to make that move, and why not make that move and go out and get a guy like Anthony Richardson? Definitely that can sit there and learn for a little bit, and then you can toss him in there later on in the season if you need to. But yeah, I think the Titans that makes a lot of sense to me. Might be the Texans depending on what they do. I could definitely see the Falcons. Like, I think Bijan Robinson's going to go higher than what people think he is.
Top 10. I think
Yeah.
he
I
gets to the top 10.
I think the
Yeah.
Falcons might take him.
Yep.
I think some people are trying to talk themselves out of not having a running back go that early. But if he's good, who cares?
Right.
Like, I don't care. I don't care what I don't care what position the guy. But if he's good and the best of his position, who cares? Like, you ain't got to think about it. Like, for the next decade plus, then I'm good. Like, I'll take him. Like a generational type talent. So yeah, I think Bijan's going to go a lot higher than I think some people. Mel Kiper didn't even have him going in the first round. Like, so I just think that's just crazy to me. He's talked about how you don't take a running back in the first round. I do not believe in that whatsoever. I think you believe in the talent. It depends on the talent. Like, I think 2 running backs that you could take in the first round. Him and Gibbs from Alabama. I think both of them are worthy of being first round picks.
For sure. I feel like my slide will be Anthony Richardson's going to fall.
How far do you think he's going to fall?
I think he might wander around in the 20s.
If he's coming up near the Ravens, if I was them, I'd pick him.
Well, okay, so that was going to be my next thing. Is we saw a tweet from Odell Beckham that said book him, and there's like these on Pat McAfee's show. There's that could Adam Pac-Man Jones saying that there could be a Lamar Jackson contract done. Who knows? It's nothing's come out from their camp that I've seen. So yeah, I mean, it'd be nice if Lamar could re-sign with the Ravens and he gets what he was looking for. But I'm not touching that. Like I wouldn't take a quarterback if I'm the Ravens. Hell no.
You wouldn't?
No, because look where they're picking. Who are you gonna get?
If Anthony Richardson is there, I would take him.
You would take Anthony Richardson?
If he was there, yeah.
Whew.
If he was there, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Just watching his tape, man, I just don't come away that impressed with it like everybody else does.
I think it's the same thing. Like, Florida had this is the worst Florida skill position play, like far as skill position players in decades. Like that, they had no skill. They had no wide receivers, no tight ends,
no running backs.
Yeah, the running back, like their running back last year, Damian Pierce, like ended up going to the Texans,
and they didn't even use him that much when he was there.
Well, Mullen, that was a whole different regime with Dan Mullen, but yeah, he rarely used him, which I never understood. But anyway, but the fact of the matter is, like, I feel like they didn't have a really good Florida. This was not one of the best Florida Gators teams around. So the offensive line was actually really good. Where you got Osiris, who's
right,
gonna be gonna get drafted pretty high. But outside of that, yeah, I think he had his moments. I think Richardson had his moments at times. It was just so up and down. And then he only started 13 games in his career, so he's very raw. Very polarizing, but I definitely think he, with some good coaching, it depends on where he goes is going to be important. That's why I think Baltimore would get a good spot for him to kind of sit for a little while, to kind of like what happened with Lamar Jackson. Remember, he sat behind Joe Flacco for a little while.
Right.
And then they put him in there, and then after that,
if you take Anthony Richardson while Lamar's on that roster, bro, you gotta part with Lamar. Like,
well, where's he going?
I don't know.
Well,
but
exactly.
you got to figure it out. They better figure it out and just let that man free.
Well, where's he going? Like, nobody's. People can pick him up now. They can sign him to a deal now.
It's collusion, man.
No, they can sign him to an offer sheet now.
They could,
but nobody's.
That's crazy to me. Why?
Because they know the Ravens can match. That's what it is.
They don't, the Ravens want them to do the work for them in terms of a contract. Is what it
Well,
feels
if
like.
you offered somebody like a contract near like 170 million guarantee, which was reported what they offered Lamar last year, and he didn't take it, then I would do the same thing too.
Man, I don't know, dog.
What does he want? Like over 200
That's what
mil?
yeah, that's that. Yeah,
I wouldn't do that.
Look what Jalen Hurts just got.
I wouldn't do that simply because Jalen Hurts, even look at his guarantee though.
Right.
What that much? It was about the same what they were offering Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, man. It's a touchy subject, man. So I try to put myself, if I was in Lamar's shoes, rather than just being an analyst or a fan, right? And it's like, bruh, like you're not gonna get that fully guaranteed contract, man. Just is it? Do you not want to play with the Ravens? Like, what is it? Like, what's causing you to not sign?
Well, even if he doesn't want to play for the Ravens, they want something. Like they're just not going to let him go for nothing,
right? And I would, of course.
Like I'm at least need a first round pick, and then some other picks for him, especially with a talent like former MVP in this league. Yeah, I'm not just going to let you walk out the door for nothing.
Yeah. And back to Anthony Richardson, it would make sense if Atlanta would take a look at him. If the Titans they should get him. Should.
Yeah.
I don't know if they will, but they should.
Yeah, it seems like they're going with Desmond Ritter and then Tyler Head. I don't know what they're doing. Like I don't think anybody knows what Atlanta's doing. Like I know Ritter was a 3rd round pick last year, but I'm not sold, man.
Right. He didn't do anything at Cincinnati that just had me like, yo, this is the guy.
I think there was other people around him with the Bearcats that were really good. Obviously, people talk about Sauce, but they had some other NFL talent on that team. So that he was just surrounded by a really good team. I don't think he was necessarily a big catalyst for him. I think he's a career backup quarterback.
Yeah, I agree with that. Well, Twan, it's been real. This draft carousel, this whole draft season has been real, and we're getting to the very end of it. This is the last night. God dang, boy, I'm telling you.
Thank God, I can't take draft talk.
I know it's painful. So you're going to be at the facility tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I'll be at the Jets facility all weekend. I've been at the Jets facility the last 2 days anyway. So yeah, I'll just be there another 3 more.
So what are they doing for you guys? So you'll be at the facility, but what's taking place? Like, do they have a special media gathering for you guys to watch the draft to kind of do your thing, or how's that work?
We'll be in the auditorium watching the draft, and then once they make the pick, then we'll talk to whoever they pick via satellite.
Oh, okay.
Zoom. And then the next day, whoever it is, they'll fly them to Jersey, and then we'll talk to them in person. And then
you're gonna be busy.
Yeah, I'll be a little busy. It won't be too much, but especially because of our deadlines. Like we have 11 p.m. deadlines. So with the draft being as late as what it is, then I won't have to write too much anyway.
Right. I'm gonna be texting you. So if you hear anything related to the Bills,
I'll say this: if people remember my draft, my Twitter account last year, I got updated scoops on who teams were picking before now. So hey, just pay attention, because I may have some updated some updates before it hit the TV screen. So
yeah, for all the fans out there. But you better text your boy. Text your boy, okay?
I know some people hate that too, but yeah, I would definitely have. You want to know before it's announced on TV, then just follow the Twitter account.
Yes. So y'all heard it. So follow Antoine Staley. If you haven't already followed his Twitter account, please do so because he's dropping knowledge tomorrow during the draft. I can't wait for it, man. But again, I'm sick of talking draft and prospects and watching film. I'm ready to move on. So we're gonna, it's always good to wrap this up, dog, and kind of get to tomorrow and figure it all out then and be a spectator. I'm gonna be a spectator. I ain't on no shows. I'm just gonna be chilling, watching, drinking my Disaronno and Corona, and enjoying myself. So
yeah, it's gonna be a good time. It's definitely gonna be a good time. So, but yeah, thank God it's almost here.
Oh my God, yeah, it's over, bro. So. Just make sure you guys, if you haven't followed my guy Twan, make sure you do so. This is the Chop Up. All right, and we're gonna be back next week. We'll probably talk about these prospects once the Bills have picked them. We're gonna talk with you about whoever the Jets end up selecting. But damn, it feels good to be done, my dude. So salute, and we out of here. Go Bills.